I need to give a shout out to Patrick Wall over on Twitter for absolutely ruining my life. And months ago, he made me put pizza rolls in the oven. And now that's the only way I can eat them because they are significantly better in the oven than in the microwave. But who has the time to cook them in the oven? So thanks, and I'll never forgive you for it. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today you can always tell when I'm hungry when I record these videos because the opening almost always will have something to do with food. It's about lunchtime right now, and I haven't eaten lunch yet because I can't just throw pizza rolls in the microwave. I have to now put them in the oven, and so thanks for that, I guess. Thanks, Obama. I'm Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we're going to be looking at an Arceus VSTAR Crobat Vmax deck list that's brought to us by Cashman over on Twitter, so thank you very much for the list. You didn't really give it to me, I just saw you post it, and I said, that looks fun, let's play it on YouTube. So I put a link to Cashman's Twitter in the video description, so please go give him a follow. He's a super cool guy. Really appreciate all the work you do for giving us CP lists and like updated meta and tier lists and stuff like that on Twitter. So definitely worth your follow. Now, before we get into the actual deck list, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and I guess hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment, all that kind of stuff. Tell YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I am now affiliated with oh boy. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I am now affiliated with Dragon Shield, which means you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield mat sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro, and I get a kickback, which means I can make more and better videos for you guys. Lastly, if you want to become a channel member, you can go ahead and click the join button to see all the different perks you get, but none of that is ever expected. Just you being here watching is enough for me. Now, finally, let's go ahead and hop over to PTCGO where we can take a look at this deck list. The star of the show is oh man, today's a tough one for me. The star of the show is none other than Arceus VSTAR Trinity Nova for 3 colorless energies, hits for 200 damage, and you get to search your deck for 3 basic energies and attach them to your Pokemon V in any way you like. Very good attack. Starbirth is a once per game ability that lets you search your deck for any 2 cards you want, which is absolutely amazing. The fact that this thing has a high power attack, accelerate energy to set up other attackers, a crazy good ability, retreat cost to 2, and 280 health all in a 2 prizer is ridiculous. It does have a fighting weakness though, so fighting is very common in the format at the moment, so do keep a lookout for that. And then it's pretty much Arceus and Inteleon with a couple of extra things thrown in there. We do have Crobat V Crobat with the Dark Acid ability. When you play this card from your hand to the bench, draw into you have 6 cards, and it's a really good ability. Now, here's where things get interesting. We have gone ahead and added Crobat V Max, which for 2 Dark and a colorless Max Cutter does 180, enough to one-shot any Dark weak Pokemon in the game. We're looking at you, Mew Vmax. Stealth Poison is also a decent attack that you can kind of use as a hit and run mechanic. It's going to do 70 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, and you can switch this with one of your benched Pokemon. So this is really good for decks like Suicune and Ice Rider that, or more so Ice Rider, where they kind of have to Melony in order to attack. So they can't Melony and Boss in the same turn. So you can go ahead, hit for 70, poison the active, they have to Melony, and then you can off them up something like a Zigzagoon, for example. Zigzagoon is really nice in this particular deck, or really a lot of Arceus decks, for one main reason, or I guess 2. Some Pokemon V will have 220 health. We mentioned before that Arceus VSTAR does 200 damage, however, we're likely to be adding a double turbo energy to meet the attack cost of this a lot quicker. So when we attach double turbo energy, now our attack damage drops down to 180. We can boost that up to 210 with something like Choice Belt. However, we're still going to be 10 damage shy on knocking out opposing Arceus Vs, Urshifu Vs, anything with 220 health, like a Zacian if you run into something like that. And that's where the Zigzagoon comes in with the Headbutt Tantrum ability. When you play this card from your hand to the bench, you get to just put 10 damage onto one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, it does say 1 damage counter, which isn't technically the same as damage, but for all intents and purposes, you're doing 10 damage, and yeah, there you go. Now that 210 health, the 220 health Arceus V now has 210, which means with the double turbo energy and a Choice Belt, you are able to one-shot it. Really big deal. Another good Pokemon in this deck is Galarian Moltres. This is the baby Moltres. That's often how people refer to it. It has the Malevolent Charge ability, where when you play this card from your hand to the bench, you may attach 2 dark energies from your hand directly to this card. I shouldn't say coincidentally because it was by design, but Fiery Wrath is the attack for 2 darks and a colorless. It does 20 damage plus 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. So this is a really great, depending on the deck you're playing, if you're playing something that's weak to dark, it's a really good mid-game attacker, and it could also be a really good late-game attacker for everything else. If your opponent's taken 5 prizes, well, now this is hitting for 270, plus a Choice Belt, you're hitting for 300, and then again, if we have that Zigzagoon, 310, not that you're going to be hitting too many things for 310, there's not much in that 310 health range. It's usually going to be either under 300 or you want to hit 320 above, so something to keep in mind there. And we mentioned before that fighting types are really common, so Dunsparce here with the Mysterious Nest ability, colorless Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponents, have no weakness. Now, this does not mean they are not weak to fighting, because if your opponent has a colorless Pokemon with a lightning weakness, well then that colorless Pokemon doesn't have a lightning weakness anymore. It's not specific to fighting, I should say. So any colorless Pokemon no longer has a weakness, whether that is fighting or lightning. Those are the 2 that colorless Pokemon usually have. We do have a couple more Pokemon to get through. Manaphy Wave Bell, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon while this card is in play. Really good for dealing with things like Jolteon and Rapid Strike Urshifu. And then of course finally we have the Shady Dale and Drizzile line, which lets you search your deck for specific trainer cards when you evolve to Drizzile or Inteleon. So really good support and consistency Pokemon. The rest of the deck is, I shouldn't say very simple, but there's a lot of really familiar, a lot of reoccurring cards in here. We have a lot of Pokemon Search, Evolution Incense, Level Ball, Quick Ball, Great Ball, all ways of finding different Pokemon. Scoop Up Net is a really useful card for moving, something like a Dunsparce out of the active, moving a Moltres out of the active, maybe reusing Shady Dealing's abilities, and reusing something like Headbutt Tantrum. So Scoop Up Net, very, very good card in this deck. We do have a bunch of supporters, Boss's Orders, Sharon's Care to, your Arceus V or V-Star takes some damage from an attack. Well, now you can play Sharon's Care to pull it from the in play into your hand, and all cards that are attached to it go with it. This way you can just evolve another benched Arceus V and continue your onslaught. It's really just a good healing type of card for colorless Pokemon. Claver is going to get us back some basic energies and some Pokemon, so that if we need to attack with Baby Moltres again, it's a good way to do it. Maybe a Dunsparce gets knocked out and we need that fighting type weakness coverage. Well, now we can go ahead and Claver for it back. Marnie for a little bit of draw and disruption. Melony to get that water energy from the discard onto one of our Pokemon. Raihan does the same exact thing, but we could use any basic energy. And then we get to search a deck for any card we want. Professor's Research is just a strong draw support. Big Charm and Choice Belt are our tools. Big Charm will give us a little more survivability, add 30 health to the Pokemon it's attached to, and Choice Belt does 30 more damage to opposing V Pokemon. Training Court is a stadium that will help us get some basic energies back from the discard, and then Path to the Peak to shut down opponents' abilities, maybe opposing Starburst, Fusion Strike System, Thunderous Kick on Zapdos V, whatever it is that we're talking about. And that's pretty much the whole deck. Palpad here is the last card we didn't touch, and just get some supporters back from the discard into the deck because, well, as you can see, we only have one-ofs of something like Sharon's Care, Clara, Melony, Raihan, Research. We might need to use them again, so we can go ahead and play Palpad to get them, and then play Shady Dealings to go search them out from the deck. That's the whole thing. Let's go see how it does. Here we go, game number 1. I'm trying to be a little bit more conscious of, there might be some new players who don't know what a lot of these cards are. I don't want to just be like, here's the deck, and you guys all know what it does, and then there's someone who's like, no, I actually have no idea what this card does or why we're including it. So I try to be a little bit more, or a little bit conscious of that, and give a little bit more thorough explanations. If you are familiar with these cards and you just want to see the gameplay, go ahead, there's timestamps in the video description. You can go ahead and skip all that, and you don't have to worry, and you don't have to listen to it. So, Mew here. We're going to go ahead and just attach. Do I want to attach this capture energy? I think I do. I'm just going to get another Arceus here. And I'm going to immediately path. Because I don't want them to really set up with Fusion Strike System and start discarding all these cards and drawing a bunch. And of course they have it. Why wouldn't they? So, fun. Yeah, we'll just start off the game with them having the stadium in hand. They don't even have to try. Don't even have to work for it a little bit. Zero effort on their part. Man, such a good deck. So good. Such a high skill deck, let me tell you. We will be able to discard this Manaphy with Ultra Ball, so we don't really have to worry too much about that. And yeah, we could discard Ultra Ball, maybe get an energy into the discard, and then we can Ultra Ball for an Arceus. Go ahead and Starburst, get a double turbo energy. This all depends on what our... please don't hit heads and get that Battle VIP pass. Thank you. And they're going to Marnie. Interesting. So, Mew decks are starting to include Marnies, or at least a one of Marnie in their decks. For one, now they'll have some cards to play, and of course. And two, now it enables them to maybe something like a Baby Moltres deck or something that has Baby Moltres. Like, they just have these huge hands where they can have a bunch of energies and a Clara and a Baby, or a Moltres in their hand, and they just play it, and now you're in a little bit of trouble. So they're starting to include Mews or Marnies in Mew to help counter these decks that just have these growing or ever-growing hand sizes, where they're likely to have a play against you. So, but I haven't encountered one yet, and it's interesting to see them play it first turn. But I guess in order to get set up, it's what you want. They're going to go ahead and attach the basic energy. They can't mellow out of this, or Elisa's this turn, so that's fun. We do have the Arceus. So, I guess I just Starburst, right? I don't have anything I need. I think we can get the Crobat. I don't know if they're going to see it coming. And then let's get... we need to get the double turbo energy so we can attack. So we'll do that. And then we'll just ping one of these Mews for damage. We'll try to get some cards out of the hand. I should have played the stadium first. That was a mistake. We'll evolve this too, just so they can't boss KO it, and then we will Trinity Nova. And we'll go 2 on the Crobat and 1 on the Arceus, so then all we need is 1 energy, whether it's a double turbo or a basic energy. Capture energy. There's a basic water energy, so we'll be able to attach the Crobat, get the Crobat Vmax. We don't really have to worry too much about path to worrying about Starburst anymore. We've used our Crobat V, we've used Starburst, so they're gonna go ahead and drop another Stadium, and they're gonna release a Sparkle. Interesting that they're gonna attach the DTE and Sparkle, but I guess they want to thin the deck out a little bit for when they Fusion Strike System. So we'll see. They already are hitting for 240. Do they hit the crams? They fail. Wow, 2 failed crams. Very nice, you love to see it. And 2 Fusion Strike energies in play already. So they're gonna Rotom Phone. And sometimes they do this to put a Stadium on top, so if I do path, that they'll be able to draw right into it or draw whatever card they want to with Genesect there. So we'll see what they end up actually being able to do here. So now they're hitting for... Oh, and they retreat. Oh my goodness, we draw the boss. I don't even have an accent, so I don't know why I'm talking like that. We top deck the boss. And we'll go ahead and just Trinity Nova, set up our other Arceus V-Star. Things are looking pretty solid. We get the Capture Energy, we get a Quick Ball. We don't really need either of those. We would really like to see something like a Research here. And then you have the Peony too, discarding a bunch of stuff. Some basic Psychic Energies. 5 basic Psychic Energies. What? That is super, super interesting. And they go ahead and concede what they were looking for. It must not have been in the deck. Going on to game number 2. That first game, it worked pretty well. I would like to get a Sobble or 2 out onto the bench so that we have a little bit more search. That is something I would like to be able to do. But all we're looking for in this particular turn is an Arceus to start and a double Turbo Energy. And we find the Arceus. We can get the Sobble. We won't bench the Dunsparce just yet. We'll see what we're going up against before we make any decisions. It looks like it's going to be either some type of like Zoroark box Wormadam thing, or could be a control type deck. So definitely want to try to get some Sobble so that we can have targeted search for when our opponent does whatever it is they're trying to do. And a double Turbo Energy to top deck would be very, very helpful. But we'll do what we can. Even if we were to top deck a basic energy, I would actually not mind that, because then we can Quick Ball it to get a Sobble, evolve, and then we can, you know, Melony draw and hope we draw into an Ultra Ball. We have the Arceus right there. So Twin Energy. If it's Twin Energy, it's probably Wormadam. It's my guess. There's the basic energy. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think it was the smart thing to do. Now that I'm like really thinking about it. Did we? Oh, thank God. I thought for a second we benched all our Sobbles. I will go ahead and drop the... I needed a Water Energy in order to get the Melony. That's what I needed. So, mistake on my part, for sure. Should have attached, and the next time I could have Starburst for a double Turbo Energy. So there's the Fighting type Wormadam, so I was right, and I'm glad we put that Dunsparce down. They can boss if they, you know, they get the Zoroark in play, double Turbo Energy, boss up the Dunsparce. It is a very real possibility. And then I'm in a lot of trouble, but then I can get Raihan. So that wouldn't be terrible, because then Raihan will accelerate the Dark Energy from the discard, and then I get to search my deck for any card I want, which would be double Turbo Energy. So that's something. Assuming Raihan isn't prized. I probably should have looked. We only have a 1-1 line of both Melony and Raihan. So if either one's prized, or worse, both are prized, we could have potentially put ourselves in a very, very bad situation. Interesting that they go with, well, I guess they wanted to get the Burmy and Wormadam coming up soon. Choice Belt doesn't really help. So we'll go ahead and evolve into the V-Star. Let's go ahead and We're probably not going to need the Vmax here. So I'm okay. We'll look to see. We do have both Raihan and Melony. It looks like we prized our research, though. So that's not ideal. So I'm going to go ahead and Marnie, I suppose, before I Starburst. Because I want to see what I draw before I make any decisions about what I am Starbursting for. There's a training court. That's really nice. We'll go ahead and use the training court. And we'll Sobble. And I think that's it. No, I don't. Because I can't attack this turn anyway. I can't Trinity Charge anyway, which is a little unfortunate. I would have been okay to attack if I didn't discard that Dark Energy. I forgot Melony only accelerates Water energies, and most of the energies in this deck are, of course, Dark types. So I'm a little bit used to playing regular Arceus Inteleon, where you don't have Dark energies, you just have mostly Water energies, and it's not really that much of an issue. And they get the full 5 cards from the BRS, and they could go ahead and Gourmandize for another, well, I guess now 3. And they do that. So I kind of want to get this Wormadam out of play here. So I'm going to Starburst. We'll get a boss and we'll get a double turbo energy. And let's Quick Ball away the Manaphy. And we'll start setting up another Arceus. My Crobat V is prized. But not really that big of a deal. We're really looking for Arceus here. You know what? We'll get that. We'll save the Water energy. This way I can always Quick Ball it and Melony. You know, I could Shady Dealings for Quick Ball Melony if I need to for some reason. And we'll take a single prize. Shady Dealings Drizzile, very, very nice. Wormadam decks are kind of annoying because the more you attack into them, the more powerful their attacks become. But getting rid of the Choice Belt, and they already are down 2 energies, it looks like. Yeah, 2 twin energies. They probably have 4 twin, 4 double turbo. So we'll definitely look to get like a Sharon's Care after this. And we do have the Big Charm for 310. Dunsparce in play will keep us from getting one shot pretty easily. They're going to boss up the Dunsparce exactly like I said they would. And here they go. Dump a few more Pokemon. Surprised they haven't used Phantom Transformation yet. They might just be waiting before they commit to it to see what I knock out, so that they can go ahead and do that a little bit more safely. I'm gonna get the Dunsparce back. We'll drop it. And then we'll search for Palpad. And we'll go ahead and use the Palpad to get Boss and Clara. And now I can search them out with Shady Dealings again. So that's no problem. I don't think we need to accelerate any more energy, so we're good there. We'll take an additional prize. There's our Crobat V. I probably don't want to bench that Crobat unless I absolutely have to, simply because it is weak to fighting, and Dunsparce will not remove the fighting weakness from Crobat, just weakness from colorless Pokemon. They are down now 3 twin energies. And, 2 twins and a double turbo. They're going to go ahead and boss up that Dunsparce again. And they're going to Scoop Up Net the Snorlax so they can attack into it yet again with a Wormadam, assuming they find the energy. So if they whiff the energy, we will be in a pretty good spot. If they're transforming, they probably didn't. And that puts both Pokemon in the discard, by the way, which means Wormadam here, we didn't really talk about Matron's Anger, 2 colorless energies, 30 damage plus 10 more for each Pokemon in your discard pile. Does quite a bit of damage. It can rack up quickly, especially with weakness. So they're going to go ahead and knock out this Dunsparce. So we can Shady Dealings. Let's get the Clara and an Ultra Ball. No, we'll go Evolution Incense. We don't need the Ultra Ball. Evolution Incense. Well, Evo Incense for the Arceus VSTAR so that we have that ready. We'll Scoop Up Net this Inteleon. We'll go ahead. We'll Clara. Keep them from, really make it difficult for them. And let's just Trinity Nova. I don't know how many energies they're going to be able to consistently find, but we're looking pretty okay. They only have 12 cards left in deck. They can consistently use these fighting type Wormadams because of Phantom Transformation on the Zoroark here. Now they are down 2 Zoroarks, 3, so this is their last Zoroark. And they just concede because they just don't have it, not able to keep up with the consistency of Shady Dealings, Clara, Dunsparce. Beautiful. So there you go. Even with a little bit of a misplay at the beginning, you can still very easily, I shouldn't say very easily, but consistently pull off the things you need if you get those Sobbles in play. And Dunsparce absolutely saving our bacon just from keeping them from hitting us super hard. I mean, I don't know how much damage that Wormadam would have done, but it would have been quite a bit with all those Pokemon in the discard. But either way, big fan of this deck. I do really like it, especially if you are able to get a bunch of Sobbles out pretty early on. You are just rolling with that consistency. So if you haven't, give this a try. Definitely recommend. Is it the best version of Arceus? I don't know, but being able to, at least threaten the one-shot on a Mew Vmax with the Crobat is pretty cool. And then it gives a little bit of utility to your Crobat Vs. Now it's not just a bench sitter. Now it has some potential to attack. It still is a little bit of a liability being lower on the HP side, the V being 180 and the Vmax still only being 310 and fighting weak. So you have to know when to play it and when not to. But if you are able to play it successfully, then you're in a pretty good situation, I think. But yes, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. I don't know what just happened to my voice there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, found someone who informed it. If you did, subscribe, like, comment, all that kind of stuff we mentioned before. Check out the link in the video description for Dragon Shields. Consider becoming a member. And yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.